Woo! All right. So, no, we're in here. I swear, I'm a weekend boy. I'm a Saturday. Saturdays are for the boys for sure, but Saturdays are for the weekend podcast, aka when I do my podcast, because it's usually on Saturdays. There's times when it's at when it's weekdays. Oh, we just lost a follower. Damn. When it's on weekdays after work hours and shit like that. But usually we're a weekend podcast. I like to, and I say we like there's anybody on this production except myself. It's a one-man operation here for ideas, shooting it, editing it, etc. Now I know it's not the biggest production in the world, but I take pride in the fact that I shoot, edit, and everything else. But without further ado, welcome back to episode 20. Cue claps. Episode 20 of the Mackin Show. Yes, it finally has. We've gotten to I was going to say 2 digits, but that's just wrong. And clearly I was not that good at math. But we got to 20 episodes. Crazy to think. I was, just doing episodes at a time here just to learn how to use this stuff. And then I figured, you know what? Might as well come in here and just do this shit. But we're on episode 20. I think it's dope. We've had a couple fun guests here so far. Hopefully before Christmas break, when I go home to New York, we'll have 2 more guests. Pretty big, pretty fun guests. They're already planned. I've talked to both of them about it. They're going to come on at some point. We just need to actually schedule out the right day for them to come on. So I'm hoping that will be soon. That'll be before I leave December 19th to go back home. So hopefully that'll be before December 19th. We're going to wait and see, but everything's going to be ready. Those are going to be fun-ass episodes. So we do have some guests coming. If I can manage it correctly, I'll hopefully bring my podcast stuff back home to New York so I can just do some fun, friends-only podcasts and just, different scenery stuff like that. That's TBD because that's, at least 2 tripods, 2 cameras, mics, audio equipment. It's a lot of shit. And I go home to relax from my LA life at the moment. So the stress of having to pack all of that might be a lot. So we'll see. Not guaranteeing anything, but no, regardless, I can't believe we made it to episode 20. It seems like at least sometimes, and don't get me wrong, it's not like we're on some tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views per episode stuff, but it seems like people who are watching it, I can't talk today, seem to like it, honestly. Seems to be, I guess, some good interaction on it. Shorts are doing good. And yeah, people seem to have fun. I just want to have fun conversations on here. That's why when guests come, from J-Rod to Christian, etc., I know it's going to be super fun. So, no, at least certain people have come to enjoy it at the moment. I obviously enjoy it. That's why we're here with another solo episode. I know you just got your boy today, but regardless, got some fun shit we're going to talk about. I guess diving into it, it has been a whirlwind of stuff happening since episode 19 in my life. I just, in terms of we've been in 3 different time zones in the past 72 hours, it feels like. We went to Denver for Thanksgiving, and Denver's absolutely beautiful. Love going there for Thanksgiving, visiting all my friends, and just kind of having a good time. We were in Denver. We came back to LA for literally 48 hours, and then we went to New York for 24 hours. We'll dive into that. And then we just got back 2 days ago. So adjusting to the times and it's just been a hectic, last week to say the least. But no, to start off with it, we were in Denver for Thanksgiving, and Denver's awesome. That's one of my little getaway places. It's nice to just, I don't know, I know this is going to sound so corny, but the nature aspect of Denver, the cold aspect, it was colder in Denver than it was in New York, but that was awesome. Getting to see friends. My brother just moved to Denver, so getting to see him was really nice and kind of seeing what his life is like there. He's only been there for 4. Wait, holy shit. He moved there. Oh, no, it was right after July 4th. Sorry, I was thinking, because he was going to go to New Zealand for Christmas. It was July, August, September, October, November. 5 months. He's almost been there for half a year. So, no, but he really likes it. And I like that he likes it just because it's a big move doing any of this type of moving across the country type stuff. But he loves it. Every time we go to Denver, I try to do like one day where we get to do like an excursion, like a hiking day or getting outside of Denver, going to like a Boulder, Estes Park, whatever it may be. We didn't get to that this time because this was actually the first time where the weather in Denver was like kind of shit. Like there was 2 days where it was like sunny, but it was freezing. And then the rest of the days it was just like overcast and freezing. So it was kind of just a nice, just hanging out with the boys, chilling, eating some good food, watching some good TV, and just kicking it. And I talked about it on episode 19 about how Addison Rae was going to be in the movie Thanksgiving. We got to go see the movie Thanksgiving. And let me just say, that movie is entertaining as fuck. I definitely recommend anybody to go watch that shit. Now, obviously you have your people on, it wasn't like some people who were expecting it to be a Oscar nominated Conjuring, Halloween, just some crazy style. No, it's a satire, slasher, somewhat comedic, mysterious movie. And I thought it was awesome. The cast was hilarious. Patrick Dempsey was great. Addison was great. I know this is going to suck. I don't know much of the other cast members because I just haven't seen them in anything before. But the guy who plays Addison's boyfriend, absolute fucking hilarious. Like, he played a great part. Honestly, I was stumped until the very end of who the killer was. Now, I guess because of like what Scream was like and having it be the cop, it makes sense. I didn't think that far into it. But no, I thought the movie was great. I think people get too in their own heads when it comes to watching movies. When, again, if you want to go see an Oppenheimer, if you want to go see a, Scorsese style movie, you want to see a Christopher Nolan style movie, you want to, like, certain directors, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to want some substance. I'm going to want to think. I'm going to want it to be like, holy shit. But other movies, man, I just want to be entertained. You think at all I ever left like a Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, like any movie, even Netflix movie, you think I leave any of those movies like, I didn't feel educated by this, or like I just didn't learn some shit. It's a movie. It's entertainment. The fuck? Like, you're supposed to be entertained by it. And I thought this movie was really entertaining. So shout out the Thanksgiving movie. I thought Addison Rae's part was great. It wasn't like a main part, but it was just a big enough part where it's like, okay, you shine a little bit. You were in this movie. It's getting great reviews too. So I think that's going to be awesome. I'm definitely going to watch it again. So yeah, honestly, maybe this is the kickstart to her acting career. Hopefully we'll see more, but no, I thought the movie was great. And it was just a fun overall time in Denver. And then after Denver, we get back to LA for like 48 hours. And we got the text in Denver from work being like, hey, like, we're thinking about going to New York and meeting with Gary Vee just for marketing purposes. Kind of just have like a, touch base meeting on just all things. Obviously, Gary Vee is very, very good at what he does marketing wise. And he has a ton of knowledge on that. So who's not ever going to want to take that meeting? Plus, like, I like Gary Vee. So of course, like, I'm in. So we were like toying with the idea of like, oh, we're going to go to New York and meet with him opposed to just like zooming it and doing it from out here. We get the text like the last 2 days we were in Denver, I think, of like, oh, we're going to New York. And we're like, oh, shit. Okay. We had no idea for how long. We didn't know like what else was going to be done. We literally took off from LAX at 8 p.m. No. Sorry, we took off at LAX at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, landed in New York at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, took off from JFK back to LA at 8 p.m. on Thursday. We were literally there for 24 hours. And I honestly thought we did a lot in 24 hours in terms of, obviously we're there for work. So I guess to start off with it, the meeting was really cool. Like Gary Vee, this is my second time being able to meet him, which was really cool. He is just who he is in his videos, which again, that's what he says. Like, he's not going to give you some fake shit. He's not going to like play up a persona and not be that persona. He is exactly who he is in his videos. Just, very like eager to let you know what he's thinking about. Very, obviously charismatic, but he's like me with the language. He's fuck shit, but like, I speak how I speak. He's from the Northeast. I'm from the Northeast. I resonate with Gary Vee a lot. His office is super cool. And I mean, he has so many projects that he just, from VaynerMedia, Vayner Sports, Gary Vee himself, that all of his shit just like works. He's very good at what he does. He did it from nothing. And, you know, being able to be in his office was super cool. And yeah, like I thought the meeting went great. He gave us a ton of insight for just like the brands we'll be working with and stuff like that, of just what we can go off of. And I was glad that we went there in person. I thought it was really cool. Shout out Gary Vee, shout out all of VaynerMedia, Vayner Sports, everything Vayner World. And I saw Chase B going up the elevator to the office. So Chase B, whatever you were doing up there, that's awesome. If you don't know who Chase B is, you need to know who Chase B is. I love Chase B, Travis Scott's DJ. Boom, shout out. Also, we saw Frank. Again, this is just like my world type thing. We were waiting on a street about to go to Gary's office. We were like 2 blocks away from his office. And I just looked behind me and it's Frank the Tank just waddling his way to the Barstool office. And I was starstruck, truthfully. I've seen him one other time in the wild, but it was in a different scenario. This time he's just walking and my jaw dropped. I was like, and I'm looking at like the 5 other people that I work with, and I was like, guys, and nobody would know who he was, but I was like, it's Frank the Tank. Like, he's on his walks. Like, that was sick to me. He was on his way to Barstool offices, which, again, I had the pleasure to be able to go to Barstool offices one time. I'm going to dive into Barstool a little bit later. Shout out Barstool. Shout out Frank the Tank. But no, other than that, in that meeting, we got to go see the tree, which was really nice. And first off, little flex here. The tree that is in Rockefeller Center this year is from my hometown. So, I wanted to see it because I'm a big, big Christmas guy. Love Christmas, love everything about it, from how it makes you feel, the fun stuff around it, just literally everything that has to do with Christmas, I'm obsessed with, I love. So obviously I was inclined to want to go see the tree regardless. But on top of that, it was a tree from our hometown, which gave me even more joy. Like, wow, like, I know such a goofy flex, but flex nonetheless. But the night we got there, we wanted to go to the tree. Didn't work out because that was the night that they lit the tree. And I had no idea that Kelly Clarkson was there. Cher. I forget who else was there, but it was like, if you were walking the streets next to Rockefeller Center, you could have like had someone tell you that this was the ball drop. It was chaos. Like, contained chaos, but chaos. Like, there was so many people, you could not even get within a 2-block radius of the tree. So that night I was like a little sad. I was like, I want to go to the tree. Like, I want to see the tree. And then luckily after the meeting with Gary, we got to go see the tree. It was awesome. We went to Bryant Park, watched people skate around, got some hot chocolate. Like, it was a jam-packed 24 hours, but it was good. And then flew back to LA that night or the next night. And instantly passed out. I woke up, I had no idea where I was. I had no idea like where I was, what time is it, what was going on. I was so out of it. I literally thought I got drugged because I was just like, again, the last 5 days we were in Denver, LA, New York, and LA again. It was just like a lot. So I definitely have respect for people that go on these crazy tours, given I thought it was sick. So if anyone, needs an assistant, something like that on tour, like, boop, I got you. But no, so it was just a crazy, hectic last, 72 hours. And no, I'm just trying to think of like what else really has been going on. I guess like what I was talking about first with the Barstool world, Barstool or Surviving Barstool just came out like in the last like 5 days, and that company and what they're able to produce is insane. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, they put a lot of money behind it. They have talented people. Like, it's not unimaginable that they're able to do it, but just like that they're able to make me sit there and like be on the edge of my seat more than like real traditional TV is crazy. So Surviving Barstool just came out. YouTube is giving them strikes because of what is going on, like what's being said on it. Like one, Kirk Minahan said something, and not that my podcast gets enough views to get a strike, but if you watch them, you know what he said. So basically they decided they have to take Surviving Barstool off of YouTube. They're putting it on Barstool TV. as someone who does not work for Barstool and has simply just been a fucking stoolie for a minute, I don't think $9.99 for that is bad at all. Now, I get everyone's point. Like, oh, you know, you were giving us something for free and now you're charging us $9.99 for it. Like, what the fuck is that about? First off, how do you expect this to run, right? You want Barstool to keep giving you crazy good content. You want them to give you every podcast under the sun. You want them to give you every reality show they do. You want them to give you like high scale production shit. Where do you think that's coming from? Like, what, you think that's all for free? Like, don't get me wrong, they still make good money off of ads on their podcast, selling but it's a huge company now. Like, that money goes to so many different outlets in the company. Like, if you want shit like this, like, yeah, so everyone like, oh, you're charging it. The amount of money, so each episode minimum was 45 minutes plus. Going to get millions of views on those minimum like, that's a lot of revenue from YouTube on top of ad sponsorships. So when that goes away, first off, Portnoy already said it, that like they spent well into 7 figures to make this. Obviously, if you want to see, like, they were talking about it recently that next year they want to do Surviving Barstool with all the female big OGs from Rhea, Fran, Kelly Keegs, Gia, Casey Smith, Hannah Cook, and Brianna, hopefully, and like the list goes on. Do you guys think if like they're not making a ton of money off this, that would even be able to happen? Like, no. And I very much want to see, because this was the one that's premiering right now is the OGs and like the big dogs of Barstool on the male side. From you got Dave Portnoy, Big Cat, PFT, Hank, Rico, Jersey Jerry, KFC Radio, Feidelberg, Gaz, Stephen Che, Tommy Smokes, Nate Dogg. I think I said Rico already, but I'll say Rico again just in case. I think that's it. Yeah, but regardless, like, you have the big dogs this year. You want to see the big dogs in the female category next year. And if they're not making money, they're obviously like not gonna keep doing it. They're not gonna just keep doing something to lose money. So I don't think them charging $9.99 is that big a deal. And I'm gonna sound like such a like douchebag with this, but like I really put it into perspective, because don't get me wrong, I love to save money, but like I watched the first 3 episodes already. I'm absolutely gonna be watching the next ones, and I want to keep watching that shit. $9.90. My coffee at Starbucks is like $8.34. I get a venti brown sugar oat milk shake and espresso. We'll go back to that in a second, because that was a point of contention in my life recently. But $8.35. That means that like that coffee and a quarter is how much I'd have to pay for the rest of the episodes. And I'm definitely going to do that shit. So I don't understand people getting all like, especially, or people being like, oh, we want you to censor it. Like, I don't know where Barstool's initial crowd went. Like, I get it. They've gotten so big, but like, it's not like they're spewing like hate speech and this. Like, it's literally Barstool type personalities. Like Kirk, God forbid, the whole reason this happened was because Kirk Minahan got very aggravated in one of the episodes, said something about Jeff D. Lowe. Wasn't some crazy, like, okay, it was some crazy shit, but it wasn't like some hate crime, blah, blah, blah. It was like what you say when you're on your boys if you get really, really mad. And again, YouTube took that as like, you know, very negative, and advertisers, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I was disappointed that happened, but regardless, they're surviving Barstool this year, like, immaculate. So first 3 episodes, great. I cannot believe Big Cat got voted off first. That's crazy to me. Obviously they want to take the head off the dragon first, and like the PMT crew, because part of my take is by a long shot, shy of like Dave, the biggest thing Barstool has and has had. Call Her Daddy doesn't count, because like, again, she's on her own, like now killing it. So obviously they're going to break that crew up and just kind of like not do that, and then they'll go from there. But Hank and Big Cat have been voted out already, and then fucking Nate Dogg. But obviously Nate is crazy. Who cares? But no, Surviving Barstool was super great. Speaking of someone else that's been getting some hate also recently is Mr. Matt Rife. Ooh, it just got scary. Lights went off in the office. But Matt Rife has been getting hate because of his Netflix special that just came out. And I don't know where to sit with that, right? Like, he's not my cup of tea comedian-wise anyway. No hate to him. Like, I love that he got super successful after doing it for 11 years. Like, shout out Matt Rife. But I watched the first 10 minutes of the special, couldn't really get into it. Because, again, it's not my cup of tea. Like, that's not my genre of comedy. But, you know, I just don't understand, like, I don't know where to sit with it. Where, like, right, I get him wanting to be unapologetic for it. You know, people being like, he posted a link to special needs helmets and what? Go cry me a river. Like, honestly, like, you can't take he was annoyed that you guys were annoyed, posted that. Like, grow up a little bit. Like, he's a comedian. Are you expecting him to give you a, like, word spoken apology where he's crying in it? Like, he's a comedian. That's not going to happen. But I did think that, like, in his special, right? Like, if you're Matt Rife, right, and you just fell in a windfall of cash of, let's say, $25 million, speculated $25 million, but $25 million due to the fact that your fan base is primarily female, they love you because you're hot, they think you're funny, all this and that. Why, like, what the sudden need to switch up? I get it if that's not what you want, but just, like, also that's who made you this multi-millionaire able to have a Netflix special. Like, honestly, like, if that type of stuff, if you didn't blow up on TikTok due to these people thinking you were very hot and they were your demographic, so they thought you were really funny, I don't see you making that $25 million in a year and having this crazy blow up. So, like, I'm not saying you can't, like, shift your comedy a different way, but to do it like that and just be like, again, I'm sorry, but I didn't think that joke he made was the worst. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I've heard millions of worse jokes than that clearly just depends on the crowd you're with, but I didn't think the joke itself was that bad. I think he's spiteful to the demographic that he has right now. And I could be wrong, but that's just what I think, is that he wants to have that Shane Gillis, Barstool, like, just that type of demographic, or even Kevin Hart's, Dave Chappelle's demographic. I just don't think you have that. It's not that you can't get that, but you just don't have that right now. And I don't think one special is going to change that forever. Like, say, right, Beautiful Dogs with Shane Gillis and his last two specials that, like, did great. His demographic has been like that since he got fired from SNL. Dave Chappelle's demographic has been that for the last 20 years. Kevin Hart's demographic has been that, whatever his demographic, like, you know, since he started. Like, Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee's demographic has been that before Bad Friends came out. Same with Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura. Like, they've had these demographics for a while, and for you to get, like, pissed off, like, fuck, like, I want their type of demographic. It can come, but, like, you can't just, like, come into this windfall of shit and be like, fuck, like, I don't want that demographic. Like, I'm mad. Like, God forbid if this podcast fucking blew the fuck up and the demographic was, like, people, like, say, if I wanted to target a different, you think I'm gonna care? Like, you're making my dreams come true listening to me talk. Like, yeah, like, shit might come over time. Like, let me preface it with I'm from upstate New York, a little bit white trash, love doing, you know, fun shit. I don't know, love being with my boys, like, all that type of shit. If that didn't help. But yeah, I just didn't understand Matt Rife being, like, very annoyed with the demographic he has, but that could just be me. But, you know, I just don't want to see him fumbling the bag, but I guess we'll have to see. No, someone who definitely, also really quick, let me shout out that I'm glad Shane Gillis is getting even more recognition. Like, after Beautiful Dogs came out, even, like, Kevin Hart tweeted at him being like, oh yeah, this is major, like, Shane Gillis is here to stay, which I definitely agree with. He still has not gone down as, I mean, shit, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast is, like, my cup of tea. Like, if I'm having a bad day, like, I mean, I listen to it whenever an episode comes out anyways, but shit, if I'm having a day where I'm like, I just need some bullshit, like, I just need something to make me laugh, boom. Because, again, like, Shane reminds me of someone from my hometown that just happens to be a famous comedian, but he's just, like, your typical white trash, middle Pennsylvania, fucking hilarious. So, shout out Shane Gillis. He's still killing it. Hope he I want more Gillian Keeves to come out. Shane Gillis, do that shit. I would love to be an extra on Gillian Keeves. If there's any application I can send in, That's what he always does. I'll do that shit. But yeah, I don't want to see him fumbling the bag. Someone who hasn't fumbled the bag, and I'm very curious to see like what that means, is Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban is retiring from Shark Tank after the end of this season, and he just sold his majority stake in the Mavericks for like $3.25 billion, which is crazy. He bought the team for $285 million, which is, I mean, just a ridiculous return on his investment. Like, I mean, and it's a lot accredited to him and the team he built and like the culture he built around the Mavs. He did phenomenal with that. But he's selling everything off, and obviously now, since he's just uprooting like his two biggest things, people are starting to speculate. They're like, is he running for president? Is it something bad? Is he going to get canceled? Who knows? What I think is, I forget the name of it, but Jack Mack on Barstool was talking about it, and after I saw the video, I completely agree that it was like a year or two ago, it was reported that Mark Cuban bought this this town in Texas that was, I think, had like a population of like 84 people or something like that, like, 50, 100 miles outside of Dallas, but he bought a town, like a legitimate, like an entire town he bought. I think Mark Cuban's going to try to build up his own town. I really do. And I think it's awesome because, like, what billionaire have you seen just, like, just create his own town? I mean, you have Larry Ellison and Oracle. He owns, like, an entire Hawaiian island, and, like, everything runs through him there, which is absurd. Obviously, the Waltons basically own Bentonville. And, like, those types of situations, but just, like, where, like, they didn't start Bentonville was always the thing, the Hawaii, but, like, this dude, like, Mark Cuban is buying a town of basically nothing, and he's just going to create his own Texas town. I hope that's what it is, or maybe he's just diving full-time into his pharmaceutical company, one or the other, but I'm very curious to see, because he did say, or at least his reps came out and said, like, he's not running for president, guys, so, like, get that out of your head. So he's not running for president, and, yeah, so I'm curious to see, like, what's going down in the South over there. And I guess in other news with the South, it literally just happened tonight that I wonder if we'll ever see, once he goes, a dominant organization like Alabama football. I wonder if we'll ever see it, because Alabama just beat Georgia, snapped their 29-game win streak. They literally, like 30 minutes ago, just won the SEC championship. I didn't even know that they were going to be in the SEC championship. I was not looking at the standings, because at least in the SEC, I knew Florida State was still really good. And I did not know that it was going to be Bama up against Georgia. Obviously, Georgia's been absolutely crazy. But, yeah, Bama just won the SEC championship. And this is going to be such an old head take of me. Maybe not an old head take. I don't know what type of take. But college football is always so much more fun when the SEC is dominant. And I mean all of the SEC, because usually in the last 3 years, let's say, it's really just been Bama, Clemson, Georgia, and then South Carolina came in there for like a year. But Bama, Clemson, and Georgia, usually SEC. And then a while ago, then that's when you had the rest of the schools. And then now you have Big Ten, where you got Ohio State, Michigan State, and then Pac-12 coming in, where you have Oregon, Washington. I mean, USC and UCLA aren't like contenders for the national championship, but they're still good teams. And as much as I do also want them in the running for like good games in the future, like when the SEC as a whole is dominant, like when we're talking about when Alabama's at the top of their game, Georgia, Florida State, Mississippi, Auburn, Clemson, like when all of the SEC is back on their like Urban Meyer vibe, that's when college football is very, very fun. And that doesn't mean the Big Ten can't also be like really, really good too, but I need the SEC to go back to that, like that Urban Meyer, like we're creating fucking just crazy soldier type football players here. And I'm not saying that, I mean, behind closed doors, it could very well still be that. But I just want the SEC to go back to that type of craziness, because, like, you see some of those people that go to the SEC, I'm just like, you literally have to look up. You're just like, Jesus, like, you are a specimen of a human being, and it's just crazy. Hold up, I just got a text. Fire, because we're going to a party tonight. Should be fun. But No, the fact that, you know, Alabama's still on top is wild to me. I would love to see a Michigan Alabama bowl game, but BCS championship. I think that would be awesome. I don't really know who else is going to be in whatever other bowls, but no, it's sad that college football is about to be over, and it's definitely getting to that time of year when, not really. We still have like 3 months until NFL too, but the Super Bowl in Vegas is going to be absurd. And I just saw Dana White on the Full Send podcast. Shout out Full Send. Talking about what Vegas is going to be like this year for the Super Bowl, and they have their not bare knuckle. They have their power slap thing on a Friday night. They have a UFC, which supposedly he hasn't announced the card yet, but supposedly it's going to be like a ridiculous card. UFC Saturday, Super Bowl Sunday. So Vegas is going to be ridiculous in February. I'm excited for it. There's a slight people from my work will be going. There's a very slight chance that I might be able to go with them for work. I'm not counting on that, so I'm actually looking into heavily getting my own. And I'm not fucking staying at the Luxor again. No, I'll go to the Luxor to gamble. I'm not fucking staying at the Luxor. But what was I going to say? No, I definitely want to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl. I feel like that'll be insane. Will I be able to get Super Bowl tickets? Obviously not. But I want to be in Vegas for that culture, for that time. I think it'll be dope. Again, as this podcast knows, Vegas has been good to me. Knock on wood so far. I would like it to continue. Vegas gods, you're awesome people, and I have a very good time when I go there. So shout out that. I think that's going to be awesome. No, in other news with nudes. Wow. In other news with one of my favorite families out there, Kim K just launched, finally came out that she has a Netflix movie coming out. And I think the fact that she did American Horror Story, because I just watched the latest Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode that came out about American Horror Story, and that woman can literally, I mean, not to sound like corny, that woman can literally do anything. Like, at that time, she was obviously running her brand with Skims, shooting her reality show for Hulu, doing her red carpets in other magazines, filming it. Like, sometimes I truthfully don't know how certain people can actually do it all, and obviously it comes down to amazing scheduling. I mean, her herself, like, just having a mind to do that. But I watched that the newest season of American Horror Story, and I thought her part was great. Like, she actually had a lot of lines to memorize, and someone who used to be a past theater kid, memorizing lines, let alone for a movie, memorizing lines is not the easiest thing to do. Like, it's tough to sit there and look at a script and realize, like, wow, I have to memorize like paragraphs of shit. Like, I loved it. That's why one day I would love to get back into memorizing lines for God knows what. But no, the fact that she was able to do that and she did really well makes me think that, and she's had cameos and other stuff, I just forget what, but whatever Netflix movie she's in, obviously she's moving into the actress category of her life, which I think is dope. But no, shout out Kim. I'm excited to see what this movie is, and I think it'll be cool. Obviously the whole Kardashian Jenner clan is just fucking killing it recently. I'm trying to think really. Oh, now that Christmas is coming around, I don't know why I tie these two things together, because I think it was literally only Christmas in one of the movies, and I legitimately think that was just Sorcerer's Stone, because it wasn't Chamber of Secrets. It was snowy in Prisoner of Azkaban, but it wasn't. I literally think the only Christmas time was Sorcerer's Stone, but for some reason I equate Christmas and Harry Potter hand in hand. I don't know why. I always have, I always will. So once that December time rolls around, I'm just in Harry Potter mode. I'm a huge fucking Harry Potter nerd, for anybody that wants to dive into that. But no, I've been heavy into Harry Potter recently, and I think I've watched all 7, 8 obviously if you want to be that person. Well, there's 2 parts to 7. I've watched all 7, I legitimately think 3 times so far in the last like month, which is crazy. I know that's super nerd. Like, yo, you need to chill out. Trust me, I'm gonna chill out. But no, I've been on a crazy Harry Potter binge recently. Anyone who says that Harry Potter isn't the best movie series of all time, I can't do anything for you. Like, it's not Star Wars. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not, I don't even know who made it past. And I'm not talking about, well, we had a sequel, we had 3. I'm talking about 5+. If you don't got 5+, I don't want to hear it. And Star Wars and Lord of the Rings aren't even touching Harry Potter. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, like, it's one thing. You know, you may have, and I don't even know where these fucking rides are, at what park they're at. When you have your own little bitty fun ride, cool. Harry Potter's got its own, like, literally its own world at Universal. So miss me with that. You can go into Ollivander's, you can go into Godric's Hollow, you can go into the castle. Miss me with that. When you have your own world at Universal, then we can talk. But Harry Potter's the GOAT. But I'd say it's definitely sort of like during that 30 days of Halloween, it's getting to that point of I'm going to have to start watching Christmas movies almost every day. And I'm just trying to think of what I can start with. Because right now, if I had to name my top 5 Christmas movies of all time that I've watched, in no particular order, we got Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Elf, Polar Express, and it's another really good Christmas movie. I've never really been the biggest Santa Claus with Tim Allen, so I'd have to say, now that I think about it, we're going Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Elf, The Polar Express, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm sorry. I'm still on that claymation animation, whatever it was back in the day. Those movies will always be nostalgic as hell to me. Those are my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. They will never get old. I think they're awesome. And I'm just hyped to finally be in the Christmas mood. But hopefully, like I said, we're going to get some more fun episodes in here before, I don't leave for another 2.5 weeks. So definitely will. But get some more fun episodes in before the Christmas break. Hopefully we'll have those 2 fun guests, and I'm actually going to FaceTime one of them after this. And I'm excited, but I can't believe we got to episode fucking 20. Hopefully we're going to get to episode 100 at some point, but, you know, we're just going to keep chipping away until that happens. I'm trying to think if I missed anything, and I don't really think so, but regardless, whether it's 100 of you, 200, however many people watch this until we one day, like I manifest, it can blow up. I appreciate everyone for watching, and until the next episode, peace. Yeah.